jump into it. This is something that we've been waiting for quite a while. It is I want to say this is the third generation of combination oven and steamer with Wolf, which is a Sub-Zero's cooking brand. A lot of these products are coming from Europe, and I believe including this one. And I want to say in the past, I think it might be like a Swiss company that builds this for them. But like most of these steam ovens, when you buy them, they are available like this to match a full-size US oven. So you'll have a 5 cubic foot oven here, and then typically you'll have something above that is actually much smaller on the inside. They'll have a 1.4, 1.5 cubic foot capacity. This is unique to Wolf in that it will have probably something more like a 2.4, 2.5 cubic foot capacity, I believe. And it's a full width oven. So if I were to take this oven rack out one-handed, let's look at the full size oven below, the 30-inch oven below, and try to put this oven rack in. It's actually slightly wider than the racks that are in that oven, but once it's in there, it kind of seats. So this is the first full width 30-inch combi steam oven on the market, which is kind of an exciting thing. One of my more popular videos is a video that I did on double oven range. And in that video, what I explained is that these kind of wide format small ovens make a lot of sense in that, we buy these larger ovens here in the US market for Thanksgiving, right? You want a big turkey and you want to get this big, ginormous oven for the turkey that you're going to cook once or twice a year. And the reality is that a turkey will cook beautifully in a 2.5 cubic foot oven. You don't need a 5 cubic foot oven for a turkey. But some people might argue like, well, I want to do the turkey and I want to do these other side dishes at the same time, which I've never done, but I'm sure you could do. The problem is with that logic is that the other like 99%, for the most part, you are heating up a very large cavity to do a casserole, to do a pizza, to do a pork tenderloin, a couple of large pieces of fish or whatever, things that really don't take more than maybe, I don't know, like 20%, 15% of that oven. So this wide format built-in oven is kind of neat in that, for everyday cooking, you can heat something relatively, normal size, small on a single tray. You've got multiple racking positions. This will not have a traditional bake mode like a Miele combination steam oven might have, but it does have convection bake. You do see that it has dual convection heaters in the back, which is kind of slick. At the top of the oven, you've got a full, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pass broiler, which is pretty fantastic. So this could be the oven that you're using, year round. And then of course at Thanksgiving or anytime you're entertaining, you'll have a full size self-cleaning oven that you can do other dishes in simultaneously. I've been waiting for a oven in this format for quite a while. I mean, we actually had a lady that came in that worked for Whirlpool, I believe, years ago, and she said, we're doing market research and we're kind of, we're talking to different appliance reps about things that we'd like to see, things that we could do or offer in our lineup. And I said, yeah, do a single, a double oven with a full size bottom oven, and then like a 1/3 size upper oven. And she said, I don't understand. And I said, well, if you look at a double oven range, you've got kind of a 2/3, 1/3 split on that oven where you've got a relatively large primary oven and then you have a small secondary oven. And she says, well, do you think there's really that much of a market for something like that? And I said, well, clearly double oven range sales, there are more and more double oven ranges on the market. So there must be something that people find useful there. That was, like I said, could be as much as 10 years ago. I had that conversation with this person, and you know, nothing has come out on the market yet that has that until this oven. So literally like this, whenever this thing launched in the last like 6 weeks or whatever. So very cool. Like all combination steam ovens, you know, you can also, in addition to broil or convection bake or roast, you can steam cook. You can also have steam in your baking and roasting and broiling environments, which is kind of neat. You can reheat with steam. So this could take the place of a microwave in that you don't, you know, you don't need to put you know, something like lentils or rice that have been sitting in your refrigerator for a few days that would reheat kind of gross in a microwave, unless you're really clever and you can figure out how to kind of use some additional water to steam reheat them inside the microwave. A steam oven will reheat things significantly more evenly, and then it won't have the lentils being crunchy. Typically the food tastes just as good as it did a few nights earlier, maybe a little better in some ways, in that the seasoning has had time to kind of, you know, wick its way into the food as it's been drying out in your refrigerator. So they are phenomenal from a reheating standpoint. They are also phenomenal for steaming vegetables, for steaming shellfish, or any seafood product. There are a number of just straight cooking uses for steam. And then you get into the more, you know, connoisseur level of cooking, where you're adding steam to your baking environment or adding steam to your roasting environment. A whole bunch of massive benefits. Miele has primarily dominated this market, because their ovens have broil, bake, roast probe, a convection. They offer them in a standard kind of a small format, maybe like a 1.5 cubic foot interior, and then a tall format, 24 by 24. That's also 2.5 cubic feet. Their user interface is also a lot better than their competitors. They have a full touch screen, and then they have an automated cooking die that takes some of the guesswork out of cooking. So Wolf does or is now offering a full TFT display. Previous generations, I think the first generation was like some push buttons and a knob, and you could scroll through things. It was a little clunky. I think the second generation was slightly better in some ways, but still light years behind something like the Miele. This, on the other hand, is way different. So the TFT display is phenomenally responsive. Everything is extremely easy to use. The TFT display, I'd say, is actually more responsive than the current generation Miele's in a lot of ways. Like Miele, you know, Miele has, I want to say they call it the Master Chef or a gourmet setting, where you can go in and you can select the type of food, the vegetable, the protein, whatever that you want to steam cook and or roast, and it will basically have an automated selection process. This will do something very similar. So you can see, you know, our first option here is baked dishes and gratin, bakery products, dairy products, desserts, eggs, fish and seafood, meat, poultry, sides, and vegetables. Now, Miele, I think, has like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 pages of various vegetables. You know, Miele has been offering that automated steam cooking guide now, probably going back almost 20 years. So when we select vegetables here, it's so asparagus, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, cauliflower, green beans, peas, spinach, summer squash, and sweet corn. And that's it. That's kind of where that menu ends. So not as many vegetable options that are pre-programmed as the Miele, but still a lot of, you know, neat, just everyday things that you're going to cook. If I go back, I'm going to look at, let's do dairy products. So yogurt is the primary dairy product under that mode. Bakery products, let's see, bread rolls, cake mixture, cookies and pastries, shortcuts, pastries, torts, baked dishes and gratin, baked dishes and gratin, eggs. hard cooked, soft cooked. Okay, so hard boiled, top boiled eggs, custards and creme caramel. All right, fish and seafood. Oh, they just say fish. That's it. No shellfish, really? Okay. So I'm just going through this for anybody who's considering purchasing this, and you know, they've got some limited information on the website. I don't think the use and care manual lists all of these various things. I think there is a steam cooking guide that I'll try to link in the description below. But anyhow, so let's check out poultry, chicken. Okay. Meat. Beef, lamb, meat products, pork, beef shoulder, beef tenderloin, ribeye, sirloin, and rump roast. So the automated guide isn't, again, it's not as robust as its #1 competitor, which will be that Miele, but again, the format of the oven is going to be a huge, I think, attraction to this product. Like the higher end Miele combi steam ovens, you can get them in a non-plumbed and a plumbed variant. Now, in the non-plumbed Miele, you'll still have a drain at the bottom of the oven right here, and then that will pump into a little waste water reservoir that's in this. This will probably be like everybody else's steam oven, in that, you know, you'll have some water here that you'll have to sponge out at the end of the cooking process. Most people who are going to purchase this are going to be doing it for a remodel, and they are probably going to opt for the plumbed version, which is probably what I recommend. You do have a water reservoir, so I just hit that little water icon there, just to give you an idea of the size of that reservoir. It'll hold a decent amount of water. You probably won't run into too many situations where you'll need to refill that during the cooking process. It is stored up in the control panel, so it's not like you have to open the oven to refill that during the cooking process. Like the Miele, you are going to get some of these full extension racks. I want to say Miele might only give you 1 or 2 of those racks, depending on the version that they buy. This will be more like the Thermador combination steam oven, in that it has this kind of full extension glide rails built in to 3 of the racks. And then you have a 4th one on top. Now, like those other combi steam ovens, you will get a full sheet for steam cooking with a non-perforated surface. Come back over here and grab that. And then you'll have a full sheet with perforated surface. And, you know, you can just imagine a giant piece of fish or a massive amount of broccoli across this sheet. This will hold quite a bit. Almost too much for some of those smaller meals, but again, you don't have to fill that thing up. You can just use a little bit. And the nice thing with steam is that it's very uniform. I don't know where the steam generator pushes steam out. I'm going to guess it's this little guy over here. I think Miele uses multiple steam generator outlets in the back of the oven. I think you can get like a 3D animated video somewhere on Miele's YouTube channels that explains how their steam oven generates steam and how it comes out. I don't know that something like that will be available for this right away, or if ever. But you know, we assume that it does a decent job of steam cooking. If you look at the roof of the oven, you'll see there are 2 very bright LEDs. You've got little thumb guys here that you can loosen to remove the rack, so that you can easily wipe out the oven. So normally you would just pull out the racks themselves, but here the runners can come out as well. It looks like there's something similar up top of the oven for the broiler, so I'm going to guess that also unscrews, and then you can maybe scrub the roof of the oven down where the broiler is if necessary. Back to modes. So when we select steam, you're just going to get this option here, and then you can dial in a specific level of steam. I think it can go, yeah, it goes down to 86 degrees and up to 210. When you select convection, it'll give you the option of convection humid, which will probably have steam in the 90s, I'm going to guess, and then convection steam, where it may be up in the 70s. Now, in the Miele, when you select a bake, a broil, or a convection mode with steam, you can select any amount of steam in the oven that you want. This is only going to give us a percentage that is, I'm going to guess, unknown. So I don't see a steam percentage laid out. I can see I can create a duration. I can create a specific end time if I want. Let's see if that just turns the steam on or off. I can select a probe. I can select a preheat. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see if somewhere in the specifications it says exactly how much steam it's using for that mode, just like the humid. Obviously, if I just select convection only, this is going to give me a radiant heat program with just the rear convection fans, and then I'm guessing heaters that are built into that housing. What else do we have? So bread, pastry, proofing, sous vide, which is fantastic. You can actually, create a water bath in one of those non-perforated trays. Put your protein in a sous vide bag, and then pick your temperature that you want to cook your protein at. Like most proteins, the closer to the temperature that you want it done at, you want to cook it at, it'll taste better. So if you were cooking a piece of chicken to 150 degrees or 155 degrees, you could actually set your steam at 155, so you can never overcook the chicken. The coloring is going to be a little funky, but in most cases you're going to take it and then throw it on a skillet and brown it in some butter before serving. So that's CV mode. There are a whole bunch of little countertop sous vide products that you can buy, but this would make it so that you have one less thing to store. However, you would need to get a vacuum sealer, which they do sell, by the way. They do a built-in vacuum sealer that's quite nice in the Wolf line. In addition to those modes, you have a steam clean mode, a cleanse mode, a warming function. This is cute. They have a reheat, and then they also have a wellness, which covers warm towels, hot wraps, hot massage stones, and whatever a seat cushion is for people who are into that stuff. Yeah, slow roast. Gourmet Plus, oops, I think I turned that off by accident. Gourmet Plus is going to cover appetizers, braided bread, croissant. Yeah, I'll have to see how that would differ from the modes that are in their traditional or the standard gourmet. It could be that these are using the combination modes. So in the Miele, you have, in some cases, you'll have a menu on their ovens that is just standard non-steam cooking, and then they have a MasterChef Plus, which adds steam. I think this is the reverse. I think your primary gourmet is going to be steam only, and then Gourmet Plus may be steam with a radiant heat element. I suspect, I don't know for sure, but we just got this in. I'm still learning about it. I am very excited to have this in here. I think this is a great addition to the Wolf lineup. I've been selling a lot of Miele ovens for people who want a matching convection steam. The Wolf oven is a phenomenal oven, but somebody who's looking for the top, or the best, convection speed oven or the best convection steam oven may say, I'm not going to do the Wolf, even though I like the look slightly more or whatever. I'm going to do a Miele because I want it to match this top class speed oven or steam oven. Now we have a really good excuse for you to get a Wolf oven because it'll complement that steam. All Wolf products, built-in products, you'll have a Pro variant in their M Touch series that will look like this. So they're going to make a version of that front It won't have the knobs, but it'll at least have the stainless steel and the handle to match. They'll also have a version for what they call their E-Series, which is an older product. Now you can see the handle is kind of running full length. So there'll be that same product with the matching kind of trim around the windows, and the glass will be the same with that handle. And then also on their what do they call this? The transitional variant. So there'll be a version with this handle and look like you see it here, and then also for the E-Series version of their transitional styling. So they're going to make that that fascia in that you can match all versions of their oven, including the push to open contemporary series. Now, the push to open contemporary series, I believe, won't have a push to open oven. It will have like a little piece, like a little handle that kind of flips out, that's integrated into the face of the display. And we'll have to hopefully get video footage of that later. But for today, that's pretty much everything that I can think of. You know, this is probably going to be about 18 inches tall, 30 inches wide, and then you know, around 22 inches deep would be my guess. Probably 20 amp service would be run to this at 240 volts, whereas the oven would be 30 amps at 240 volts. By the way, Wolf has also updated their ovens recently. So this is a new 50 series oven where the convection baffle has actually changed. And if you look in the back, you can see that they've added convection fans back into the design. So previously on their M series ovens, you had a slightly different baffle design. You had corner fans. This actually has louvers that look like they aim the air inlet down, or I don't know if that's an inlet or an exhaust. So they still have vents on the corners, but they've added these additional louvers. And then of course you've got now fans back in the middle of the oven, which is kind of interesting. But more on that on a different video. If you like this video and you want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.